Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's show. If you are in the Metro DC area and you're like, Cheree, how do I find deals in DC? Because the numbers don't work, the math isn't mathing. I've got a treat for you. Mr. Ben Jenkins is here with us. He is a realtor and a real estate broker. He has a great office in the DuPont Circle area of Washington, DC. But to all of my people who are in higher price areas, whether you're in California or Florida or New York or places like that, this is also for you as well. It is really about finding deals and how to actually make the numbers work. So first of all, Ben, welcome. Welcome to the platform.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Cheree. Look forward to it.
Talking. Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate, first of all.
Yeah, so graduated. I'm pretty young, actually. I graduated college in 2021. Immediately started working for this company called New Western. I'm sure maybe some people on the podcast right now might have worked with us before. We operate a marketplace for investors to find homes to rehab, and I do acquisitions for them. Started in the disposition role and now I'm doing acquisitions for them. But started in Denver in 2021. I was doing dispositions there for about a year or so. Did well doing that, and now they had me come out to DC in 2022, August 2022. So we had, it's crazy looking back, but we actually had four agents in our office when we got the jump out here, and now we're up to about 20 or 25. So it's
fantastic.
Quite the ride so far. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great growth. Congratulations. So when you say you're doing dispositions, what exactly does that mean? What are you doing?
Yeah, so kind of how New Western is structured. So dispositions, it's essentially a sales role. Disposition agents here at New Western, they will bring in new investors, kind of help our investors learn how to purchase properties from us, as well as if they need financing. We also have a sister company to New Western called Sherman Bridge. They can help them get financing and stuff like that, like just kind of a one-stop shop, if you will, for investors to start getting the ball rolling on getting properties. We're actually around the country. We're in, I think, 25 major metros at this point. But essentially the disposition agent's job is to put the buyer in the best position to get the best deals. So that's kind of, what a disposition agent does. And then obviously, like I said, I'm doing acquisitions now. So, bouncing off what we're going over today is just, identifying profitable opportunities that would make sense for our investors.
Right. Well, I hope that, at some point we would be able to work together with some clients as well with regard to the financing there. So then let's take a step back and actually help people with regards to finding deals in the Metro DC area. When someone comes to you, what questions are you asking of them, and how are you helping them actually find these deals that can cash flow, for example?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I feel like a lot of people think that you need to spend a lot of money on marketing to find deals, which, sometimes is the case, and it can be the case. And a lot of people do that and have a lot of success. I'll say, though, too, I mean, there's a lot of free ways to get deals. I mean, just calling, believe it or not, calling agents, saying, hey, next deal that you get, and maybe it's not a good fit, maybe it's not retail ready for the market, hey, give me a shot at that one. I can pay you a finder's fee if you get it to me off market. Just kind of decrease that competition for you, to obviously get that deal, because I mean that's your bread and butter. Like, people that are in the industry all the time, like, obviously they're going to run across houses, and some of them are distressed, and maybe for whatever reason it's just not a good fit for the open market. So I would say most of my deals is just working with real estate agents and, relationships, I feel like are a huge part of this business.
Yeah.
There's, obviously a lot of ways that you can generate deals that are going to cost, some cost more money, some cost less money. But I mean, you can go for something like direct mail.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll always say, if you're going to go the direct mail route, it's a great route to go. But you're going to want to, a lot of people will use, prop stream, which is,
Mm-hmm.
great, or, other avenues to pull lists or they'll buy lists, which is great, but odds are other people have bought those lists.
Same list.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I think driving for dollars, and, you can actually create handwritten lists and, make them, bulk. So you'll just have, it's a lot more personalized, and
Mm-hmm.
odds are those people, maybe they haven't been reached out to maybe as much as the list that you bought. So, I'll say, definitely that's a great way to get going, because I mean, what you don't want to do, especially if you're just getting started, is just start spending a ton of money.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
agree with that.
yeah, that's kind of how you get killed.
It is. It is. So, and then you get desperate. But I
Yeah,
want to take a step back
yeah,
and go to the talking with real estate agents and networking with people who are just in the industry. It could be real estate agents, lenders,
yep,
title companies, etc. First of all, go on a grid, GRID for everybody, grid investor, finding, a group near you and actually networking with people. The second thing is to be specific about what your buy box is. A buy box is basically like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for single family? Are you looking for multifamily? Are you looking for something that's a full gut reno, or do you want something where it only needs paint and carpet and you're ready to go? And that way people can say, okay, people will take you more seriously. I think you can let me know, Ben,
yeah.
if you kind of are a little bit more, if you just say, I want anything, then they think that you haven't really thought through it. But you can let me know what you think about that. The other thing that I suggest people do is have office hours for your business, just like you would have office hours if you were going to work. I always suggest people have office hours for this real estate investment business because it is a business, and having that marketing time set aside, even if it's just an hour a week, to reach out to realtors and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And then the final thing, and Ben can let me know what he thinks about this as well, is 30 realtors. Call those same realtors every month, because you don't want them to forget about you. They're not going to remember you 3-4 months from now. But if you call them every month and then email them maybe with your contact information, they'll start to remember you as well. So, Ben, what do you think about anything that I said, or anything you want to add to what I said?
No, yeah, that's great. I totally agree. Yeah, because I mean, if you don't have an ironed out buy criteria, like you said, Cheree, like people just will be like, okay, maybe this person doesn't necessarily, maybe they're not all the way in yet.
Yeah.
They're kind of teetering between things. So yeah, if you something so simple, so free, that I feel like a lot of people, it's crazy for them to do this, because a lot of people don't really like to utilize their social medias, but just something as simple as
Mm-hmm.
throwing up on their Facebook page, hey everybody, I'm looking for, a really clean 70s build in Prince George's County or something,
Yeah.
whatever, just for example, and you'll be surprised at kind of the feedback that you get on that. And like, maybe someone will say, hey, maybe I have something for you here. Or, if people look at your page, they'll see, hey, this person is active in the world of real estate investing right now. They're looking for deals right now. But yeah, ironing out your buy box is huge. And I mean, that's because otherwise people just won't really know what to look for. But yeah, and then like you said, I mean, getting their emails, following up these
Mm-hmm.
people is going to be huge. You can utilize, and obviously make sure you're always complying with canned spam and everything like
Mm-hmm.
that. But you can utilize follow up, such as the Reach app, where you actually are sending each text individually, so it complies, and you can reach out to a mass amount of people via email. Obviously you want to make sure they opt in and everything like that
Yeah.
for your emails, but you can automate these processes. So maybe the first of each month you're just touching the people that you've already connected with, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easy once you have a relationship rolling. I mean, it's a lot easier to maintain that than just completely starting fresh every single month. You might as well, definitely stay in contact with the people that, you've reached out with in the first place. Otherwise, yeah, like you said, they'll just forget about you. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I used to have this guy a few years ago. He had a medical device company, and he would, like, once every 4 to 6 weeks, he would send us just a general update about what was happening with his company. And then at some point, he decided he wanted to raise more money. And because I felt like I had been a part of his journey, I really wanted to invest in his company. And I
yeah,
mentioned that because you can, like, for example, let's say every week for an hour you're looking at properties, and you can say, hey, update, for the month, I looked at these 4 properties. They didn't work because of A, B, and C, but I'm still in the market looking for a property. And for some sort of reason, that may get people to, like, open up and be a part of your journey as
yeah,
well, so that when they find something, they feel invested in you finding the property. You're not just another investor coming through. You're actually taking people on the journey with you. And
yeah,
like you said, Ben, people can also upload that to social media as well, because their family, friends, coworkers, church members,
yeah.
etc., may be the ones that shows them a really great property and gets them into that off market deal.
Yeah, it's the classic joke where everybody's got a real estate license. You never know, somebody that you never thought in a million years would get you your first deal. Like they'll,
Yeah,
you know,
everyone's a bird dog.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
everybody is a bird dog, and you're right. You never know who that person is that's going to get you your
yeah.
deal.
And
Yes,
get in those,
absolutely.
get in Facebook groups. I mean,
Hmm.
people think that that there's nothing there. There's a lot of business that happens in these Facebook groups in most major metropolitan markets.
Hmm.
So, I mean, definitely, like, not only on your personal page, but, get active in the Facebook groups and see if you can provide some value there as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So let's say you have a client and they're super serious. They have their buy box together, and you're starting to look for properties. What are some of the things that you do in order to analyze the deals and make sure that they're actually good deals for the clients? What kind of tools do you use for that?
Yeah, I mean, just with the amount of volume that we do, I mean, we are quicker, and then we leave because it's all, kind of subjective. I'd say at the end of the day, someone
Hmm.
might get a rehab done for a lot less than someone else. Someone might want more profit than someone else. But yeah, a lot of the times, I mean, we're looking at percentages.
Hmm.
Kind of depends on, the year built, where the property's located, stuff like that. Like in, just for our market, Cheree, like in Baltimore City or DC, obviously you're just going to need a little bit more margin because those flips might take a little bit longer. They're older houses, stuff like that. Whereas, you get something in PG County, Montgomery County, Northern Virginia, something like that. Like people are okay with maybe not walking away with as much, but it's more of a sure thing, if you will, and it's going to be a lot quicker. So
Hmm.
we're mainly running these on like a percentage, and then we have a rehab calculator that we'll punch these numbers into as well, just to kind of get a deeper dive into the deals. But yeah, I mean, typically depending on where it is, like typically I'm itemizing the deal as far as rehab goes. Um,
Hmm.
but you get somewhere like Washington D.C. where most everything is going to be a full gut renovation, so you can kind of get away with more of a price per square foot metric
Yeah.
and something like that. So
Yeah, and look, I would suggest to people, don't do a full gut reno if this is your first deal. Like,
yeah,
find something that requires less, because the full gut renos, like you really do have to have a strong construction team with you. But it sounds like Ben does a lot of analysis on your behalf as well, which I think is really great. I know over here it's SimpliFunded, especially for like rental properties, we will do an analysis for our clients, and we've helped save clients as well. We're like, you're not going to make any money on this deal, and a lot of times they don't know.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
add that in when as we are preparing a term sheet. We also prepare that rental analysis as well, because our goal is to protect our clients too. And I'm sure you feel the same way, Ben, where
Yeah.
we don't want our clients getting into a bad deal because we care about them and we care about their portfolios and being able to, profit and grow, etc. So,
Yeah.
what are some of the um, precautions that you have for people with regards to, you know, either types of deals, should they invest in Baltimore City because it's cheaper, quote unquote, or should they stay in a higher cost area where there's maybe a little bit less risk, or any other precautions or suggestions that you have for people when it comes to investing in this area?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like it more comes down to what you're kind of looking for. At the end of the day, like in Baltimore City, you're obviously going to get a lot better cash flow.
Mhm. Yes.
But Washington D.C., it seems like a lot of investors are pretty fine with breaking even almost on their cash flow for a couple of years until obviously the rents increase.
Right. And they
So
get appreciation as well.
yeah, and they'll get a lot more appreciation. So I mean, I feel like you can't really go wrong in this area. I feel like it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. I would say like the main precaution is I feel like people will see cash flow and they'll be like, oh, this is good, this is great, but like then they don't factor in, maybe maintenance expenses over the next
Mhm.
5-10 years, or like what if you have to replace a roof or
Mhm.
an HVAC system or a water heater or something like that, and then all that cash flow that you collected, it's gone. So I would just say like definitely factor that in. Bigger Pockets has a great calculator that can
Mhm.
help with that, which
Yeah.
I use quite often. But yeah, I mean that's the main thing. But I mean in a market like Northern Virginia, I mean it's tough to get something here, but I mean it's right now it's one of the hottest markets in the United States.
Yeah, it is.
So which is great, but I
Mhm.
mean you're gonna see a lot more appreciation, and then I mean you compare that to a market like DC. I mean another thing to look at is tenant rights. I mean market like DC versus
Mhm.
Northern Virginia, it's going to be a lot more landlord friendly in Northern Virginia versus DC. So just making sure you're looking at stuff like that. I mean I've dealt with a lot of TOPA stuff, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
So
It's funny
definitely.
that you mentioned that because I was just talking with a property management person, and they're getting out of DC because I mean, it's not landlord friendly, you
Yeah,
know. I know other people who have invested in Baltimore City. Like, you have to be on top of your game with that because it's
yeah,
not Maryland is not landlord friendly
no,
either. So you do need to have a lot more upfront. Um, what do you call it, review
yeah,
of a potential tenant.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, and it's not just the tenants, it's the properties as well. At least in DC, I've heard that so
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh,
getting the permits and things like that
oh,
is kind of tough.
yeah. No, it's seems like it's pretty delayed right now in
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah.
Like I think permits that used to be a few months thing are more like 8 months, 6 to 8 months
Mhm.
now. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. A long time.
it's a long time. So yeah, just factoring that in. I mean, definitely like you can get killed on soft costs and holding costs and everything
Hmm.
like that. So just to make sure that you're not just looking at a deal for face value. Closing costs are obviously going to be a lot more in DC than a place like Northern Virginia.
Hmm.
Just making sure you're factoring everything in, so you can walk out
Yeah.
happy with the purchase.
Good, good. So tell us like a typical deal that you have that you're presenting to your investors. What's a typical deal? What are the numbers, et cetera?
Yeah, no, for sure. Hmm. I would say probably the most common deal that we get is like a mid to low 200s detached house in Prince George's County.
Okay.
That's pretty common, something that we pick up. Maybe an investor gets an out sale around 400. They put, I don't know, 60 in or something like that. Let me
Okay.
make sure. Let me double check my numbers on that. So we got one,
So if they're doing 250
maybe
plus 60,
75. Yeah, 400 exit, put 75 in, pick it up, mid to low 200s.
okay.
Yeah.
So how much are they on average profiting after? I mean, you can just give us a range after like you have your double closing cost and things like that. What are how are people doing in the market there?
Yeah, so New Western as a whole will actually typically utilize a double close across the country. Here in DC, we actually just utilize an assignment,
Oh,
for
okay.
for our transactions just to decrease some of the closing costs.
Okay.
But I'd say like PG County is different, but I'd say most investors are looking to make right around 30K, um,
Okay.
just because it's going to be a quicker flip. Uh,
Hmm.
I'd say in DC, people are looking to make more like 75, maybe $100,000, but obviously that's going to be you know a lot longer of a
Hmm.
project and
Yes.
maybe some more headaches along the way. So
Yeah.
um, like we just had one in Reston, for example, and just quick easy flip. I mean, you're not going to make a killing on it, but you'll probably be out in 3 weeks, and then the
Hmm.
days on market were 3 days. So obviously a lot of people like stuff like that where it's just kind of a no-brainer,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna maybe knock it out of the park, but you're
Mhm.
you're feeling pretty good that you're going to make some money, and you're going to be out quick with minimal risk. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
seems
So
like
you're willing to take less for that. Yeah.
yeah, yep. So
That makes sense, definitely. So,
yeah,
I do have people contacting me who do not have any money. So I always suggest people consider the wholesaling route. There are people who have money who are looking for deals. There are people who out there who can get deals who are looking for money, and you two can potentially partner in order to be successful as well. 'Cause I have a lot of people who ultimately want to get long-term rentals, but I'm like, if you don't have any cash,
yeah,
then let's focus on getting you some fix and flips, and get you in the market with regards to that. So,
yeah,
um,
definitely.
what other things should people be aware of as they are working with somebody like you? Anything else?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I would always just say to do your own due diligence,
Hmm.
always. Get your contractor, walk the house.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the sight unseen purchases. Like, I feel like
Hmm.
it's good to get your contractor in there, and have them run the numbers with you. Make sure you pulled your after repair value comps. And factored in all soft and hard costs on this thing before pulling the trigger, because I mean typically companies kind of similar to New Western, I mean you're typically putting a non-refundable down payment down and you're
Hmm.
signing a contract,
Hmm.
so definitely just have all of your ducks in a row,
Yeah.
prior to moving forward, and maybe try and stay away from buying sight unseen if you can.
I would agree with that. I don't think it's very smart for anybody to buy sight unseen.
Yeah,
And, another thing is, we talk around here for those first couple of properties, buying within a 50-mile radius of where you live. That way you can go drive to the property,
yeah.
also drive there on the weekends. Maybe, if you have flexible work during the weekdays, driving there, surprising the contractors, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. So, I mean, all of that is important. But I really enjoy talking with you because, again, so many people said to me, we can't make the numbers work in DC. It's impossible. And yet you seem to be a living testimony that it's difficult, but it's
Yeah,
not impossible. It's not impossible. So,
definitely
how
doable.
can people get in touch with you, Ben, if they want to know more, maybe work with your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way to get in contact with me is just give me a call, text me, 970-231-6962. If anybody wants to reach out and see how I can help you, no matter what, I would love to try. But yeah, definitely can email me too at ben.jenkins@newwestern.com. Yeah, so definitely happy to chat with whoever on anything I can help with.
Perfect, perfect. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget, if you are looking for funding for your real estate portfolio or for your own home, if you want to do house hacking, anything like that, you can find me at simplifunded.com. Definitely reach out to Ben. Overall, let's get you your real estate portfolio in whatever manner you are looking for your own family's needs. So thank you so much, Ben, for being here. Thanks, everybody. Hit the thumbs up button on the way out, and we will see you on the next podcast. Take care.
Thanks for having
Bye-bye.
me, Cheree.